Hey friends. So I've had a beautiful day. Spent most of the day with Annalise. We got up and made muffins. We went to the pool. It was a literal perfect papa-daughter Saturday, which is great. And I've had, so something's been kind of like under the surface. This came up. I was practicing yesterday, and I've had a couple of days of really, really wonderful piano practice, a real sense of joy and movement. And I've had a couple of days, not unsurprisingly, that those feelings have emerged during days when I've actually been able to devote a bit of time to the piano. I've actually been able to sit at the piano for 3 hours, sometimes a little more, which is pretty rare for me these days that I would be there that long. One day I think I spent 4 hours. And I had this, and I've had a beautiful sense of things moving for me, of integrating much of what Madeline has been talking about. I mean, if you've been listening to my last few days of posts, I've been essentially talking about my experiences at the piano, and then in the lessons and in the teacher training. And so I've just had a really beautiful week of music. And I found myself yesterday, I brought my tea today. I found myself yesterday playing a new piece, new Chopin Etude, number 8. Never played it before, didn't really remember what it was until I started playing it, and remembered, of course, hearing it, because I've heard all these pieces. I just don't always remember them until I start learning them. And I had this experience of quite quickly integrating a large amount of the piece. Now, I am not ready to perform it. I'm not even really ready to play it on a lesson. I'll be lucky if I can get some hours in today and get maybe as many hours as I can tomorrow to get it to where I can even present it to Madeline on Monday at, a crazy low tempo, undoubtedly. But I had this experience of learning it, and it was like the building blocks that I've gathered from the previous pieces are all gelling now. There's a whole thing that Chopin does with diminished chords, which used to be this thicket to me when I would get into these passages. And he's dancing around diminished chords, and they're moving, and often minor third intervals, because that's what diminished chords are composed of, is minor thirds. So I had this experience of learning a lot of the piece quickly. It was just coming into my memory quickly. I was like, whoa, I get it. I can't play it at tempo, but it's going in fast this time. I'm drinking it quickly. And then I found myself noticing, the technical approach is also one I'm familiar with from these other etudes that I've done. So in other words, there's a kind of acceleration of my capacity to integrate a new piece, partly because I've just been putting a lot of my focus there. Chopin etudes are basically all I've practiced, aside from a little bit of Mozart, now that I'm on the teacher training. And I've been doing it very intentionally. I've known for quite some time that Chopin etudes are pieces that I love. They inspire me. They're incredibly formative as far as technical capacities, and I've never done a deep dive on them. And so I was like, I just want to do a deep dive. And when I met Madeline, I started working on them, and she clearly has a love of Chopin and understands Chopin and has played a lot of Chopin. So there's a real, it just felt like a fit. I was like, okay, I'm going for it. I'm just going to learn as many of these pieces. My goal is to learn them all. to really learn all 24 etudes before I really put my focus anywhere else. Now, I'm sure I'll learn other pieces in the meantime, but that's, and that's felt like a goal that's going to take, God only knows how long. It could take years, which is fine. But the experience I had yesterday, I'm playing the piece and it's starting to just be played through me at a very early point in the learning process, because I was literally reading it for the first time yesterday, and I had a sense of power. I had a sense of an empowerment and a real recognition of an expanding ability. And then a thought came in: am I allowed to have this power? And then my mind started going, if I have this power, does it mean something bad is going to happen? Now, you want to talk about limiting beliefs, right? You want to talk about like the most explicit kind of like archetypal 101 version of a limiting belief. It's, if I claim my full power, is something bad going to happen? Am I allowed to have it? But it was so stark that in the moment of this kind of rush of unfolding and this really inspiring kind of upswing in my sense of mastery, that I had this belief surface so explicitly, because it explains a lot. It explains a lot. Because on some level, I've known that these abilities at the piano are mine. They're in me. That music is trying to come through me, and I am meant to share it. Meant not in some kind of fatalistic way, but I have it within me to open that channel to that level of music and be expressive. But something has kept me from really going there. And I think it's no accident that it's beginning to unfold with a teacher like Madeline, who explicitly approaches piano in the same way that I do, which is as a spiritual practice, basically. And that I'm in I'm in a place where I understand that the work is not just practice, it's inner work. It's meditation. It's gaining distance from our karma. It's being willing to sit and receive the impression of what's within us, whether it's joy or fear or power or limitation, to the kind of poise and presence. Like in Zen, they talk about the crystal clear pool of the mind, reflecting everything. No waves on the pool. So entire world, the entire surroundings the pool is like a mirror. That's the work. And piano practice then takes place within the context of that work. piano practice is a portion of my personal development. It's a portion of what I'm here to do. And I think, you know, when something like happens like yesterday, clearly it's not over. I'm not through. I haven't fully dissolved that pattern in me that says, am I allowed to do this? Am I allowed to feel this? So, but man, seeing it and seeing it so clearly and feeling like I can go, but feeling like I'm both in a place in myself where I know how to reckon with that, and I know how to. I know better. I'm at a point in my own consciousness that belief can surface as a visible thought, rather than surfacing as an impulse to distract myself and go and like ignore the piano for a couple days or whatever. You know, like whatever that belief would have traditionally done to sabotage me and keep me in the box of I'm not really allowed to have this power. That didn't happen. The belief surfaced as a visible thing where I was able to look at it and be like, oh, wow, look at you. Didn't know you were in there, you know? So I take that as a very good sign. And I take it as a blessing. I take it as a blessing to be seeing that. Because again, I know what I'm here for. And an experience like that reminds me what the primary work is. You know, it reminds me that it's not about trying to practice my way through that on piano. There will be plenty of piano practice left. But working with that issue, with that belief, or if it is even is a belief at this point, if it's just a pattern, that's liberation. So yeah, that's what showed up today. Showed up yesterday, but it's been brewing for a day or so. Thanks for watching. Love you. Have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow.